Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to bring you my first 2025 college football weekly pick and prediction video. So if you're new to the channel, I do strictly ATS picks and predictions on here. I'll have a few videos throughout the week for college and this same thing for the NFL. I love to track my ATS accuracy so that way you can tell if I'm legit or not, if I'm good or not, if I'm terrible. You can bet the opposite of me. If you like what I'm doing, you can tell me. If you hear something that you like, and as far as my game breakdowns, maybe that helps you out. But I track all of my picks here so that way you can see how I'm performing. Last season in 2024, I finished 59% accurate in college football. My goal has always been 60%. If those of you who are familiar in the sports handicap world, 59% is pretty damn good. But 60% puts you in elite category, and that's what I always look to achieve. So let's see if I can do it in 2025. We're going to kick it off with the game in Dublin. We have Iowa State taking on Kansas State. Kansas State is a 3-point favorite. This opened months ago. This opened at 3.5 for Kansas State. Went down to 3 across damn near every single book. You can find a 3.5 still out there. I did check, but it's essentially 3 across the board. It hasn't really been any line movement since. Now we are about 36 hours away from kickoff, so maybe there's going to be an influx of line movement tomorrow, as bettors hit the sports books because they're eager and anticipating college football. So the key matchups in this game for me are going to be Rocco Becht versus Avery Johnson, both quarterbacks. So Rocco Becht at Iowa State, really good quarterback, has going into his, I believe, third year now starting. He's had great wide receivers to throw to in his career, but this season's going to be different. This season, he lost. This season, he's coming in with new wide receivers because he lost his top 2 guys from a year ago. One of them was a 3rd-round draft pick in the NFL draft. The other signed as an undrafted free agent. So these are 2 good players that made a lot of big plays for Iowa State, and these are 2 big losses for Rocco Becht. Who's he throwing to now? I'm going to butcher his name, but a guy named Eldrickson. He caught 2 passes for Iowa State last year. They bring in Xavier Townsend to transfer him from UCF. He had like 60 yards receiving for UCF last season. He's a slot screen type guy. He's not a guy to stretch the field, or at least he wasn't in that offense. So there's a huge question mark in the passing game for Rocco Becht. So it's going to be up to him to be able to navigate with all of his experience. He's going to have to navigate this Kansas State secondary, which is breaking in some new faces at corner. But he's going to have to navigate them with a whole new group of wide receivers. On the other side, completely different story. You got Avery Johnson coming back, his second year starting. I've said it in a previous video. I believe that Avery Johnson is the best player in the Big 12. I think that he's going to win Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. I think Kansas State is going to win the Big 12 title because of Avery Johnson, or him being one of the big reasons why. Elite dual threat quarterback. His passing got better and better as last season progressed, and now he's coming into this season returning his number 1 wide receiver, Chase Brown. They go in the portal and get 6'5" Jaron Brandley from Boston College. Didn't really do much there, but 2 years ago, he was one of the primary pass catchers for Texas Tech. So he's been on this stage before. This is going to be nothing new for him. And then he gets Jaron Tibbs from Purdue to transfer in. He was part of the rotation out there. Honestly, nothing special, but still another veteran wide receiver to add to this group. So these top 3 guys played a lot of football. Avery Johnson played a lot of football. I expect in terms of the quarterback battle, it definitely leans in Avery Johnson's favor. Next matchup to look at is the K-State defensive line against the Iowa State offensive line. So Kansas State, I think, has the best defensive front in the Big 12. Obi Izor, Osunsami, Elalio, I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but at nose tackle, Stufflebean. They got a lot of guys with a lot of that can play. They got edge rushers that can bend, that can snap off the line of scrimmage against an Iowa State offensive line that should be good at offensive tackle, but not good enough to completely erase those edge rushers. So again, when you're talking about passing game for Rocco Becht, he could be under pressure in this one more so than Avery Johnson because Iowa State doesn't necessarily have pass rushers of that caliber. So it's going to be up to the Iowa State offensive line to keep these guys off of Rocco Becht's back because he's got a whole new group of wide receivers to throw to that might not win on their routes as much as he's used to. And then finally, in my opinion, for Iowa State to win this game, it's going to be up into the rushing game. Iowa State returns Carson Hansen and Abu Sama, a great duo at running back. If these guys can find room, the O-line can open holes, and I know Kansas State has some really good linebackers too. But if they can open holes, these are the kind of running backs that can gash Kansas State in the run game. For Iowa State to win this one, they're going to have to at least hit 150 yards rushing. So, what is going to be my pick? Well, let's get into that. So, the way I see it, I do believe that Carson Hansen and Abu Sama are going to be able to gash this Kansas State defense. I think this game is going to be tight throughout. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think Avery Johnson's going to make a ton of plays, both throwing and running. I think Rocco Beck is going to make smart plays with the ball and also have Hansen and Sama make carry the load on offense in the running game. If you can grab a half point, I like Iowa State with a plus 3.5. I'm doing plus 3.5 on my book. I'm buying a half point, but there are books out there where you can find at 3.5. So I'm kicking it off. Iowa State plus 3.5. And to be perfectly honest with you, if this game was mid-season, this wouldn't be a game that I would bet because it's just so close on paper, too tough to call. But it's the kickoff, and I know you're chomping at the bit to put some bets down in college football, as am I. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the plus 3.5 with Iowa State. So anyway, that wraps it up. If you want to see more of my bets as we go through the season, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. As we're here now, we're in college football season, so let's get it going. Take care.
The only hoe I'm trying to see right now is a whole lot of money. Y'all can keep the rest of that shit.
It just got real. Say how you feel. Got is mad. Yeah, that's too bad. Off of my dick, I got him stretched out. Look at me, I'm blessed.